Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mansions with me, Marianne, and welcome to your June readings. I'm almost finished. Today's June 13th, and I'm plugging along, but those that have been watching me, and I appreciate you greatly for that, and hopefully new ones that are just popping in right now. I do have a format, and what I do is I usually do one reading a day, depending on what technology will allow me to do. I do have a full-time job as a massage therapist and a Reiki healer. And then I also, of course, this is a job in a sense, but it's one that I'm incredibly passionate about. So I do readings in person at my studio as well. But yeah, this reading today is for any sun, moon, rising / ascendant, or I would definitely say Venus placements in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is a very, very beautiful water element that is extremely powerful when it comes to the water signs, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And if you've watched my videos, I'll repeat it many times, that Scorpio is definitely the more intense water sign. And there's reasons for that. Reasons being that Pluto, the planet that represents deep and long-lasting, I would say, in a lot of respects, change, transformation, personal critiquing and self-awareness. So we make those choices, whether it's relative to anybody else's thoughts or opinions, it's irrelevant. It's not always a fun process. I think we can all recognize that we've had to do this in our lives, whether it be because we had to understand whether we needed to be in a relationship or leave it and what that meant. And certainly with ourselves, relationship-wise. And that's something that, I just appreciate and admire about Scorpios. They go deep. The recesses run deep. The waters run deep for Scorpios. So I would say that there's a definite intensity with Scorpios. And I would also say that with the many people that I've worked with or, associated with, which happens to be a lot with Scorpio. And I have 3 placements in Scorpio and important, I would call heavy hitter planets. So there is that, affinity and that kind of understanding from a place of actual feeling as well, that whether a Scorpio is quiet or outspoken, there's this feeling, there's this magnetism, there's this secretive kind of, you're not 100% sure, but there's a draw. There is an absolute draw. And I don't think you forget Scorpios a lot of times. And it can be for phenomenally beautiful reasons, and it can be for ones that have, there's this sexuality aspect, there's this intellect where they get and understand, they feel. There's a feel. It's a lot about feeling, okay? There's emotion. This is what water is about, and it's raw. It's very raw. It's not something that's put on. And a lot of times I started to say I've known Scorpios that will prefer to keep their feelings to themselves, and in doing so, you still feel that there's something that isn't being said, if that makes sense. So on top of everything I've mentioned, there's an incredible loyalty. There's a determination because of being a fixed sign that is very notable and very, I would say, impressive. I've known a lot of Scorpios in relationships, and the thing is they're known as the sexual sign, and that's because they do take the physicality aspect and the intimacy of relationships to another level, because that's how they truly feel, literally feel, the energy of the persons that they're involved with, and it's about that. It's not so much about promiscuity and whatnot, although I'm sure there's certain ages for all of us that we probably would be more inclined to that. I've found so many Scorpios to be not like that at all, really, and in probably fewer relationships than most people that I know in the zodiac and the signs. It's just they are very devoted, very loyal. When they find someone, they are going to stick with that person. So I started to say, I find a lot of the Scorpios that I've worked with or done readings for, or that I know for one reason or another in relationships, they're long term. They really are. And if they're not, they're going to be by themselves. They're perfectly capable and okay with that as well. Because they have certain standards. They do. They have that fixed aspect where they have, their own ideals and beliefs, which we all do. But a lot of times people don't, if they don't meet that and whatnot, they'd rather be alone. And so there's that. But there's so much love and compassion when it comes to Scorpios, and they have great, like I said, abilities to transform and to transform their lives, and in the process help others as well, explaining, these are things that I've gone through. Maybe I can help you and to, kind of navigate your life or circumstance and maybe shorten the period of time it took me, per se. And I'm saying that in a personal way to my audience, because that's why I do readings. I mean, there's been so much that's happened, and I know a lot of us experience so much in our lifetimes as quickly as it goes. But there's stuff that I would never talk about during this channel of readings. Perhaps I'll do videos later in my life, but because of everything I've gone through, it has inspired me more and more to want to reach out and to inspire anybody I possibly can to know and let you realize that we have such strength and such love and such co-creative energy happening every moment, that we have gotten through, we can get through so much. And that's one of my bigger motivations. And of course, using the divinations of the Tarot and the Oracle, which are phenomenal, and they're so right in line and congruent with a lot of the messages that I get from Spirit and from my intuition. So I don't want to talk too much, but this is just coming from my heart, so I'm just being as real as possible. My readings last a little longer, so now I'll go into the format. If you are new and you're still here watching, I like to pick the love connection reading for every single sign. As I mentioned, today's featured sign is for Scorpio. The love connection is one of any type of love, and there's many types, but it's an essential part of our lives and the reason we're here and we're living. It's just that simple. So I picked this right in front of you. Spirit is the one who's, as I always like to say, I'm the conduit. And so there's a reason, and I don't know what it is. It's a general reading for Scorpio, but it's only for Scorpios today, okay? But you could have a placement other than your sun, so that's why I mentioned you might want to check your other placements as well for other readings. For example, if you're a Scorpio sun, but you're a Leo moon, and an Aries rising, you can check those readings because they absolutely apply to you, and especially now, which we'll get into a little more. So I'll pick the love connection for you, beautiful Scorpios, and I'll go a little bit more into a little bit of major positive and influential energies happening in the planets right now, because there are a lot. So let me pick this, and I have something very important to say about you, specifically anyway, Scorpio. So Spirit, please guide me, of course, in the highest good for everybody involved in finding and guiding us with this love connection. Oh my gosh, this is the third time that Sagittarius has come up, but of course it makes sense. You have such a gift, Scorpios, of perception and psychic ability and intuition, because as a water sign you feel so much. Your life is guided by how you feel, and you sense people's energy. You understand their thinking before they know what they're thinking. A lot of times it's remarkable, and it's very exciting and beautiful to me to experience that and have witnessed that with Scorpio. But moreover, it's the Sagittarius aspect is well, they're right next to you on the zodiac wheel, so there's always kind of an infusion of energy that happens just automatically because you're next to each other. So you pick up on each other's traits and characteristics that I think help. I think we all help each other. In fact, we have these standard supposed, characteristics that differentiate us from each other, but we all basically have them in some respect, especially in our own natal chart. But Sagittarius is the fire sign, okay? And Sagittarius is all about truth, and you absolutely are about truth, and you will not tolerate disloyalty or dishonesty and things that are not truthful. I mean, yeah, we all have our own opinions, and maybe yours isn't going to be like everybody else's, obviously. But the reality is you sense and you know truth just innately. You know truth. I don't know how else to explain it. And this is why it's a really, I see the combination of Scorpio and Sagittarius a lot, even if it's friendships or whatever. It could be work partnerships, because you both are very, very determined to seek and to speak a truth. And like yourself, Scorpio, you don't like to embellish or fluff things often, unless you're an actor. I mean, that's very possible. There are many Scorpio actors, and that's their job on a real day-to-day basis. It's very authentic. Your speech, the way you feel, the way you talk, and so it's you, okay? And you don't know anything else. So same with like a Sagittarius, and they seek truth. They actually are seeking truth, and they are ruled by Jupiter, which is a benevolent planet that is, yes, it's a masculine, and it's about certainly influence and favor and luck and opportunity and expansion of things that you want to have happen in your life. Being careful that's you're aware of just exactly what that is, because in fact it will expand things, and we don't always want things expanded. Just thought I'd put that out there. But we have to be aware of what we're thinking and wanting and asking for, because it will come through. And so the thing is that we are now just on the heels of this incredibly beautiful, super full moon, strawberry full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. I saw it last night, and it looks as though it's not quite, but it's almost there, and it was brilliant. I could see it coming through my blinds and feel it. I can feel it already, as I'm sure you can. And it's positive. It's an actually really positive energy that's going to affect us for weeks. It could affect us certainly through the end of the month, till the new moon. But it's definitely going to affect all of us, and it's going to also very, very clearly and I mean, I've said this in my other videos, it makes sense because we're in June, but it's about travel. It's about foreign lands. It's about, adventure, freedom, speaking one's truth, okay? And that's why you're feeling it, I'm sure. And you may be very much connected to a Sagittarius. So you just have this energy in your chart, along with being, like I said, a sun, water, element of Scorpio. But I feel positive about this. I think a lot of us are going to experience some really positive, lucky, unexpected transformations. And then what I wanted to say earlier was that we are we are still feeling the very strong effects from your full moon lunar eclipse on the 15th/16th of May. And it is going to affect us for months. In fact, you and Taurus were the two eclipses that happened last month in our eclipse season. Taurus is the solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse on the 30th of April, and then the 15th, 16th of May, because it runs 2 weeks apart. We had the full super lunar blood moon eclipse in your sign. So everything that represents you and everything I've spoken of already, and the 8th house, which is where you reside and you're known for, you represent the 8th house with other people's money, partnerships, life, death, inheritance, rebirth, renewal, all the things we said, rising above, rising from the ashes. That's your archetype, the phoenix. And, starting again, it's all there for us. It's all available for us. And it could be in the smallest of ways, or it could just be completely life transformational. And that's what we all are experiencing as well. Thank you, Scorpio. So the next set of eclipses they run on the north and the south nodes, and the north node being in the Taurus and the south in your sign. That will happen through next year of 2023, and the next set of eclipses in your sign in Taurus will be actually the new solar eclipse in your sign on the 25th of October, and then the 8th of November will be the full lunar, just the opposite of basically what happened. So lots more to hear, to feel, to release is another huge word that comes through, and to be privy to and to become aware of all of these things in astrology, in life, you know, through our interactions, through our prayers, our meditations, our, you know, our time alone, which is essential for you, Scorpio. Because of being as sensitive as you are, you have to have time. And most people need to understand that. If they don't, and if they do, they fully understand it and they accept it, and that's who you want to be with anyway. It's time to kind of re-energize yourself and to just allow yourself that stillness. Usually a lot of times by water is beautiful for you, nature, you know. That's what it's about. That's what's happening. And then I'll just finish by saying that the summer solstice is upon us next week already. I'm so excited. I can't really even believe in time at times that we're here again. Actually, I have a beautiful remembrance of last year's summer solstice because I adopted actually 2 years ago. I apologize. Yeah, that's how it's been working. 2 years ago, during the summer solstice, I had adopted my beautiful cat named Eclipse. We had 3 eclipses in a row, and they were in the sign of Cancer the week that I adopted, which was the 17th of June, which is coming up this Friday. and just so I felt I had to name him Eclipse. He's black and white. It's perfect. He's amazing. And there's just such power in eclipses, and certainly in the water element of Cancer, which is the next sun season we're heading into on the 20th. So we've been in Gemini. We're still in Gemini. Mercury is almost completely, the shadow period is almost pretty much dissipated. It's officially on the 19th, which is Father's Day this weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there that may be Scorpio. And I don't know, just gorgeous, you know, long days, sunny. It brings out that inspiration and that drive and that power. And then, of course, Jupiter went into the sign of Aries, as did Mars. Aries is so incredibly powerful. It's all about Mars. It's all about that. Mars is its ruling planet. It's about passion and drive and leadership and, you know, effectiveness and creating and just making things happen. It's really on right now. And boy, we need that, because I know we've all gone through so much. It's not over yet, but I really feel like we should pat ourselves on the back for just how strong we are, and how we just have to keep on getting up and keep being that phoenix that rises like yourself, Scorpio. So I love the Sagittarius inference here for your love connection. And if it is a specific person in connection, more power to you, because there's going to be a lot of beautiful energy working towards building on that passion and that love and stuff this month, and for months to come, actually. And then whether it be a friendship, whatever it is, or, you know, you just are really, really sensing the energy of, like I said, this full moon. It's going to culminate maybe some ideas so you can then restart again. And it's positive. It's really positive. So from here, I wanted to read the 4 cards representing each week of June. And what I'm doing is I'm picking a deck right in front of each sign, because I have this desire. I may do it more often, actually. I kind of like it. I'm using my intuition to pick the deck that works for the sign. I usually have one deck for the month, you know, of the oracles and the tarot. But I am keeping the one, which is the rune that I end the reading with, and I love. So we'll get to that. But I'm going to pick for you and yours for the month of June, beautiful Scorpios, is going to be interesting. I have not used this one yet. This is calling out to me. And as far as another oracle, a quick oracle, I think that's important. We're going to do the wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom in this universe, and it's wonderful that we can sit and allow that information to come from source. And you know, the fact that we are actually all connected, always have been, our souls are united, and they've had many lifetimes and many opportunities, and maybe revisited the same people on our paths, which is pretty phenomenal when you think about it. But the tarot deck I'll use for you is going to be the Hush Tarot, and I like that. Now, sometimes, you know, the mystic aspects of life are very, very obvious, but they're not just in your face. They're kind of hidden and discreet. As I mentioned, you can be. So I like that, and I think it's a beautiful deck. It tends to have more shades of the I would say autumn, fall kind of hues, but it also lends to not only the nature that the cards demonstrate, like leaves and things, but also animals, you know. So it's all inclusive, and I like that. But the Hush Tarot, so I haven't, like I said, pulled this out for a while. So we're going to pick the 4 weeks, as I mentioned, 1 card per week, and the energies that they will possibly ignite for you. It's never an absolute, ever, but I love it because I find when I'm watching readers, that'll be the first week that popped out. There are things that are just known, you know, explanations for a lot of the cards, but then sometimes because of the grouping, another understanding or epiphany or explanation comes through, and it's just like, whoa, that resonates with me. I had not actually thought about that, and that can continue to the end of time, as far as I'm concerned. I've just been so fascinated for so many years, and it depends on the day and the energies that come through a lot of times. I hope you'll resonate, but don't give up if you don't. There's messages here for a reason. I don't know what they are, and sometimes they come in later, or you've already experienced this entire reading and you're thinking, done there, been that, Marianne, but thank you for the confirmation. So that's why I like this too. Although I take, you know, longer to do my readings, this has already happened. This is the first week. So this is what you're coming into your reading with, because anytime you watch it is perfect. And it's nice to see if this in fact has occurred for you. And what we have here, my beautiful my beautiful Scorpios, is interesting because it actually is the 7 of Cups. And that's what you are. You represent the cups. You are the water. You are the creators and creative people. We all are creators. You have exceptional talents and ability to create and to, once again, feel and to, you know, experience some really beautiful heart-centered kind of emotions and feelings that I think are essential in our lives. And a lot of us all have hearts, we all have emotions, but sometimes it takes being with and experiencing the energies from Scorpio to help ignite that in us. Now, this is an incredible depiction of the card. So unlike the Rider-Waite-Smith, that's a lot of our first go-to deck that we relate to and refer to. But look at it if you can. There's a woman on a horse, and mind you, the cups represent femininity. You know, there's the masculine and the feminine energies in all of us, and we originally, your ruling planet, Scorpio, was Mars. So that's why there, I think, is more intensity to you in general, because of that fiery kind of passion aspect. That's just, I mean, Mars is the warrior planet. You know, it's about conflict a lot of times. It's about war. It's about working through things to get to a better place. It's never always going to be pretty and simple and tied up with a nice little bow, right? But you have this person caressing this horse, and you've got surrounding with, you know, just leaves and it looks like a snake, for heaven's sakes. And my gosh, is that ever implications of transformation? That's one of the biggest implications. But I'm looking at this and wanting to share it with you if you're not able to see through the video, and just say that the Seven of Cups is many opportunities that will be presented or have been presented to you. And definitely in June, you know, things are perking up. We've got straightforward motion, and this will be this way. There won't be any retrogrades. We've already had them. Saturn turned retrograde a couple of weeks ago, and that'll happen through October 22nd. The taskmaster, you know, the time, the planet of time and value and, you know, worthiness, and, you know, being very matter of fact, and, you know, kind of constricting us from wanting to do too much or overdo it. Exaggeration, it tends to be more confined type of energy. And you know, the cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith show all sorts of opportunities, all sorts of possibilities, temptations, some good, some not. Where are you going? What do you want to do? Do you want to allow too many opportunities to come in so that you're scattered and you're not really as focused as you can be and you have that ability to be? That's entirely up to you, isn't it? But knowing that, you know, maybe for the first time in a long time, there are opportunities, that in itself is an absolute gift. So I like to say in my readings, I like to add some uplifting spiritual tips. And one of them, and I've learned through experience, and I'm sure a lot of you already have experience, but is just that less is more a lot of times. So even though you think, oh my gosh, I've got this to think about and that to think, it's almost too much, right? We want to narrow the field. We want to use that Saturn energy to be smart and kind of concise and stick with one, maybe two specific interest or, you know, ideas, and just focus on those. You know, the energy will be pure, it'll be more defined, I guess. So that's what you've come into June. Now maybe this is ringing a bell for you, and if it does, oh my gosh, if you're resonating, if you're new to my channel, please like and put the thumbs up for me. Subscribe to my channel, because it's really just following me. It's not like you're going to be inundated with anything. You're not going to be charged. It's just a super wonderful way to support my channel and to help me grow. So keeping that in mind, and if you feel so inclined, I would greatly appreciate that. And comment. Let me know if these things are happening. I want to know if people are resonating, if there's a lot, because I feel like the readings in themselves all kind of amazingly and beautifully, you know, are synchronized with a lot of the oracles coming into the readings, and then in addition to the messages I'm getting to express to you. But I want to hear from you. That's the most important thing to me. So okay, so that's the first week, and now we're in the second week. We're on the 13th, and tomorrow will be the second week, legitimately, as the 14th, and this powerful energy that's going to carry us through this weekend into this, you know, summer solstice. And just, well, Cancer I didn't mention, and then the last part is that the new moon will happen on the 28th in Cancer. This is very harmonious for you as a water sign. And I know a lot of friends and relationships that are Cancer and Scorpio. And there's a difference in the energy, even though you're both water, but there's still there's that fundamental aspect that's very, very clearly something that draws you together. And for understandable reasons, you all have that same, you know, emotional component. Cancer is about family and home and, you know, and caring and you know, providing and wanting to do whatever they can to keep that safety net around those that they love and the familiar. And that happens a lot during June because it's vacation time and kids are home, and there's going to be a lot of that. You might know exactly what I mean. You might be going on vacation or certainly planning it, and I hope you do. And I get to go away this weekend too, and it's just, I am like a kid, I am. I haven't gone away past Santa Cruz, which is about an hour and a half from where I reside, for a year now. So now I have this wonderful, beautiful gift that my younger son and his girlfriend are offering to me of getting away to a beautiful little town called Carmel, California, and making it a tradition. So I'm over the moon excited, and it is near the water, and it's going to be so peaceful, and I'm going to allow that to happen. I don't know exactly what we'll do. That's the best part. I'm just going to just be and just allow it and just enjoy the love and the family. And that's a lot of the influence coming through as well, which I think is beautiful. So this week has some pretty powerful, magical, opportunities and energies for us. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. There you go. Well, 8 is about expansion and mastering, and one of the most significantly abundant and powerful numbers in numerology. And there you go. You have this opportunity. It's showing, what choices to make have to be decided. But this week, with this incredible full moon influence as well, and Aries still, they're both fire. I mean, that's the initiative. That's the spirit in us. That's the action part of us, right? The coins and the pentacles are the practical and more, down to earth, sustenance, our jobs, our how we make our money, once again, the value of that you so very eloquently can, share and teach us, Scorpio. And it looks as though you're working really hard, and you've actually gained a lot, and you're definitely good at what you do, and you're going to continue to pursue something in your life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a specific interest. Maybe you'll add a secondary tier to that. Same thing you've done, but you want to just spice it up, as if you will, or maybe add more educational aspects to it. That's perfect time during this Scorpio full moon, or any time when any kind of influence of Sagittarius, because they're all about higher learning and the education it takes, and on topics that can be very taboo, which would include you as well, Scorpio, with the, I would say, metaphysical interests that I've known so many Scorpios to have, the more obscure topics in life that are very much a part of life, and are becoming more and more accepting and interesting to people, in their daily life, because they recognize how much spirituality is exactly what life is about. But that's a whole nother video. So I love this for you. I love it a lot. And you may know what I'm saying, and you may think, I'm not really sure what that is, but I can tell you that with the Seven of Cups, you're going to know. This is the year that you're going to actually come into a place that you may not have at this point. Maybe it has to do with being just newly going to college and, pursuing an active degree. It could be so many variables, but you are definitely acquiring the knowledge and the experience and the expertise. So that's fantastic. And that is what this leadership energy is about with Jupiter and Aries too. So the third week is going to be, as I mentioned, we'll be heading in, it'll be the 21st of June, so legitimately 3 weeks into the month as the solstice, summer solstice. And you have the Four of Pentacles. Okay. So I love these cards. I don't know if I showed you this well enough, but it's like a bunch of skulls that are being carved and, created out of marble or what have you. And just perfecting your skills and your talents. And then the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles represents, almost in a way, it is the earth energy. Yet again, you have that. Now, earth is extremely complementary to you as a water sign. You just simply work well together. Earth is the soil and the ground. Water helps to, make it malleable. And to plant a seed, you've got to water it and it will grow, therefore. But without that earth and the nutrients, it would not work. So the two of you are just such great complementary, harmonious type of energy in all aspects. So that's why I believe you're getting this wonderful pentacle. And then, of course, the first solar eclipse was in Taurus, and that's all about our practicality. That's about our money and our ruled by Venus. It's about our love, our heart, our passions. and bringing them to life through hard work and determination, which as a fixed sign that Taurus is and you are, you get that. That's not an issue for you. You're more than willing to put in the effort and do till you reach your desired outcome. But the Four of Pentacles can represent a sense of wanting to kind of be a little bit more frugal, aware of how maybe you're spending. It usually shows with the Rider-Waite-Smith a man who's got 4 coins, one at his heart, I believe, and 2 at his feet, and somewhere else, and just kind of, or maybe, I'm not remembering exactly. Point is there's a sense that he wants to kind of hold on to what he's got, you know, not for fear necessarily, but just out of just sensibility. We don't know what the future brings. No, we can guess till we're blue in the face. We can ask the questions and ask for the guidance and ask for messages and, you know, symbolisms. We don't actually really know. And so for the present time, you're thinking, this is how I want to conserve. That's another good word. For days that I might need it, rather than spend it frivolously, which is not something that I think a lot of Scorpios do anyway. You're very smart with money. You're very smart in many ways. And I've known a lot of Scorpios who are extremely good with their resources because they're not frivolous, you know, and maybe it's not great for people that like to just spend because it makes their heart sing. And, you know, there's those, what do they call that when you go out? You're not feeling great, so you have to have that shopping kind of remedy. I can't even think of the term. But it's not always the wisest thing when you look back. You're like, yeah, I'm wearing the shoes I wanted and this and that, but I probably could have saved that money somehow. That's kind of where you're going, and that's how you've been going, and it's wise. But I just would ask that you, or invite you to just make sure that you are still allowing yourself some of the things that do require spending, you know, and being sensible, which is what you are, because you know, you deserve it. And we don't only want to just live to work. That's just not something that really, even though it's ingrained in people, certainly in my age category, you know, it's just like work hard and, you know, and then, but that's changed for me so much. And I hope it is for you. And I hope that this new truth and this new reality that we are all experiencing will bring that to the fore. But for now, you're still being wise and you're being sensible and you're kind of making sure that your investments are wise, you know, or maybe double checking that, looking into new ways to invest, or, you know, changing your insurance companies. All those things come into play. This is other people's money again. We have that influence of your beautiful, you know, lunar eclipse in your sign that'll last for months, Scorpio, and that'll affect you. Of course, it's your sign. So, you know, practicing what you preach, I guess, and just being sensible and smart is really something that's important to you. And then the final week, like I said, the new moon, which is always an opportunity for all of us to just start new and to write down our intentions. And by the way, I didn't say it, but for all of you that have these beautiful gems and stones and whatnot, I carry them daily. I have them in my pocket right now. The full moon is a great way to reactivate them. Put them in a bowl, sometimes a little water, and set it on your windowsill or even actually outside. Oh, it gives them such power. So that's just something that came in through this reading. But this new moon is going to be very powerful, very beautiful in a fellow water sign. So it's just going to activate your talents, your ability to receive and to internalize things. And you might have incredible dreams and epiphanies. And I hope that's true for you, beautiful Scorpios. And you have the 10 of Cups. Well, there you are again. Well, so you started with the Cups, the 7 with the opportunities, the crazy, and then you end with the 10. And it's not really demonstrating it here. There aren't even 10 cranes. Are these cranes? I don't know. But the point is that you have the ultimate ability to have exactly what you want and to feel incredibly emotionally stable, fulfilled, creatively, romantically, sensuality-wise. I mean, this is the month that would have that happen versus pretty much any month up to this month. So powerful, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful energy that you can utilize and you can take and you can believe in and you can create, you can manifest, you can absolutely use and do your magic, Scorpio, okay? So what a beautiful way to end this month, and then have it, of course, continue on. It doesn't end when the month ends. That's why the readings, whenever you watch them, are fine. And I never feel rushed now, because if I don't feel energetically like I'm in the right place to do readings, it doesn't happen. It's not fair to you. It's certainly not fair to me. And I know when I know exactly when those times are. So I love this reading. I truly do. I see and feel that the energies are absolutely working in your favor, as it shows, and with the guidance as well for, you know, your awareness. And then I'm going to read your Wisdom of the Oracle choice, which is a beautiful deck, and it is by Colette Baron Reed. And so let us see what your specific message is for June. Halfway through the month, the 6th month, 6 being the sign of Venus. Now, I didn't say this, but because Jupiter is in the sign of Aries, the polar opposite sign is deeply and always affected, which is the sign of Libra, and that's relationships. So relationships are going to be very key for many people for the entirety of Jupiter being in Aries. And that would absolutely apply to you. Whether you're single or you're with somebody, it will have and can have incredibly powerfully beautiful transformational changes in your relationships. Whether you know, long-term or otherwise, brand new, single Libra, not Libras, Scorpios, interested in investing their energy into that is very, very potent and important. And then balance, you know, that balance that's necessary, which reminds me of the 4 of Pentacles. So you have number 25. It's a gorgeous, beautiful picture. And it says round and round. Well, right off the bat, I just have to say to you, my gut says, you know, the world continues to turn round and round and round, you know, and you can play with it, you can try to be a part of it or not, you can just, but that it will continue nonetheless. So much of it is what you choose to put into it and to perceive and, you know, sense with your incredible gifts. And I'm going to read to you, though, specifically what it does say. That's just my intuitive kick. I don't know these by heart by any means. So let us see what it says. As I said, it's a gorgeous, beautiful picture, though. And 25 equals 7, and 7 is what you started with, the 7 of Cups. 7 is a very, very heavenly number, I want to say. It's just very spiritually guided number. It has so many references in life, the 7 colors in the rainbow, the 7 chakras. I mean, it's about just gifts. I would say a lot of times gifts and luck, you know, lucky 7. I mean, the list goes on, and that's what's always being offered to us if we choose to see it and actually want to receive it, because that's everything. And I always ask Spirit, please help me to be the best receiver. You know, I always say I want certain things, but I need to be able to really receive it and believe that I'm worth it. So there is that. So we're at 23. Let me go to 25. 25. I may do a second reading today. I have a very busy day tomorrow, so it would be, I don't know that I would be able to get one out tomorrow, but we'll see. And thank you so much for being here yet again. I appreciate you very much. Round and round, essential meetings, the spiral quality events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. Cycles you are challenged to break. Revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. I love that. This is the time to do just that and release with the, first and foremost, the eclipse in your sign, which brings things in and takes things out. sometimes instantly, sometimes through the months of the messages. Like I said, it's a slower process in the sense that it just has to be revealed differently, you know, and it'll happen in little parts, but it'll all be part of the big equation. The oracle message: the appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you're standing at a higher, I love hearing this, at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdoms and lessons learned. Isn't that gorgeous? You know, the bird's eye view, the different perspective, the ability to want to transform. That's your key thing. You are the transformer of the astrology, you know, zodiac signs. So there you are again, kind of leaning into the fact that that's representing you. So I think that's very synchronistic and appropriate for the reading, actually. And finishing with your rune, which is, I picked the rune from my beautiful velveteen bag. And then I'll read to you the messages therein. Okay, and you have, what I say looks like an F, or like a clef note from a musical, you know, sheet of music. And I want to say it's F, but that doesn't mean that's the case. So let me just read to you so I don't try to guess. And when I know them all verbatim and not completely memorized, then I will no longer have my flashcards. And I'll just simply read to you what I know them to be, you know. But I love the runes because they're incredibly powerful and very full of wisdom. They've been around for thousands of years as well. So I love to utilize the divinations that have that kind of wisdom to, you know, to share with us. So let me look for that particular letter and we'll go from there. And I truly, truly hope that you can enjoy this month, every day, but this month with its incredible, powerful, beautiful, positive energies that are coming for all of us. ANSUS. It's an A. It doesn't look like it. Oh no. Although it could. You could look at that as an A that's got the short little stem there. But it's really about memorizing. So putting it in my subconscious the best I can. To me, what looks like the musical kind of reference from when I took piano years ago is actually an A. First letter of the alphabet. Pronunciation, ANSUS. It's rune number 4. So there's your second number 4. Now 4 generally is about stability. The 4 of Wands is the perfect aspect of the security and the stability of a family and everything. The 4 walls, you know, each one necessary to be there in order for it to remain stable and secure. And that's what the pentacles were in the 4, just like making sure you got it now. You don't necessarily want to spend too much. You don't want to, you know, you want to find the balance. Absolutely. And that Libra inference that I mentioned with Jupiter in Aries, that would be highlighted and affected the whole entire time, is definitely about balance. It's definitely about relationships, but the balance is a huge part of who Libra is and what it represents, always wanting to find that balance in their life. The theme is God. Keywords: communication, answers, poetry, insight, mysteries, knowledge, and the magical working, divination, enlightenment, seeking answers. Banish fear with knowledge. Yes, when we know, we don't have to fear, right? Whatever that means to you. Improve communications, okay? So even though you may be feeling, and you do feel, Scorpio, that you express yourself, or, you know, because you understand things so innately that maybe people do just should know, perhaps, but that's not the case. And I know you know that. Being able to express yourself and really work towards that in even small ways is so important for relationships and for yourself. Key phrases: communicate clearly from the mouth of God, spiritual clarity and wisdom. There's that spirituality you so very clearly have. Acquiring the answers needed. Yes, because the truth does come through with this full moon in Sagittarius, whether we like it or not, and you will acquire answers. I can promise you, especially when you're asking for them. They shall come. So I love that very much. I just want to say I think you have the opportunities to really excel and have a wonderful month. And I would wish that on you, of course, and I do. So thank you again for your time. I will be back in August. I'm sorry, I'll be back in July. How's that? I'll definitely be back in July. So until the next time, thank you and take care. Bye for now.